What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of my Football Manager Save. This is episode number 108. And today returning with a treble header as our treble dreams remain alive, but for how much longer? Still got the Champions League last 16, first and second legs against the 17 time in a row now Champions League winners Real Madrid, and a tricky test away against Freiburg in the Bundesliga, aiming to stay top. Before we get to the games though, I don't want me getting on off camera. And so, of course, in the last episode, you saw us extend the winning run to 10 on the back of the 3-1 win against Borussia Mönchengladbach in the DFB Pokal quarter-final. The semi has been drawn, by the way. Now, that might well be where our progress ends as well. Hertha in great form this year away at Olympiastadion, but for now, our treble dreams remain alive. But anyway, following that, we beat Union Berlin 3-2 away. Just one game off camera, and it was a comfortable home victory as we remain 100% at home this season in the league. 4-0 against FC Cologne. Mukoko with the first land shooter, getting our second. Fernando added one as well. And then in stoppage time, Romero curled in this absolute beauty from range, man. It's amazing to think his stats don't seem to suggest he's one of the best wingers in the world, because he never lets me down, man. Seriously, what a goal in a big 4-0 win. So in the Bundesliga right now, as you can see, we're still top of the table, and Leipzig and Bayern just played each other on this last weekend. And I thought, honestly, even though Bayern have stumbled out the blocks and been poor this year, they're turning into a win machine. I don't want them to win that game. I want Leipzig to at least hold them. Well, in the end, Bayern thrashed them 4-2. They're coming. You see that meme of the here it comes? I think it's a tornado. That's Bayern Munich. That's me trying to hold on with Dortmund, and that's Bayern gaining steam right behind. So they're back into second place, the first time in a long time, and have now cut the gap on us to 7. And that's the same distance between us and Leipzig as well. So Bayern in tremendous form. Here they come. The 20-time champions not done yet. And this is why I said you can't rule them out. 8 games to go. Destiny in our own hands. But we still got to face them and Leipzig as well. Here it comes. So that's it for the run off camera. Just a one game really. It's just hard to get a gap right now because there's just too many big games coming, especially now we're into the business end of the season. I don't think I'll be able to have any gaps at all really. But yeah, heading into the game tonight, again, Real Madrid at home. They have won the Champions League 3 times in the save, and that came as part of a 3-peat as well. And again, they've now won it 7 teams in a row, if you count the 3 in-game championships, if you will, as well. They've been dominating La Liga. They've won it more times than anyone else, and also in the save as well. So, yeah, one of the very best teams in the world. Still in the save, and it's just gotten better since the save began as well. They've got an inside forward trio of Yeremy Pino and Mudryk as well. Endrick is, of course, still absolutely dominant as well. So, yeah, it's an amazing team, and definitely one to be wary of, obviously. So yeah, heading into the game, this will be our team. It's our 4-2-3-1 Gegenpress, and just the one player getting a rest tonight, that's Landshut due to tiredness. But this will be our team. We've got Dennis in goal, back for a Flavio, Bennett filling in for the Dragon who's got flu, not risking him tonight, with Creswell alongside, then Fresnado at right back, Crozier and Mane, DMGO, Dos Santos on the left, Company on the right, and Rainer Sports Mukoko. Can he do it on the biggest of games, in perhaps the biggest game of his career? On the bench, you've got Alfonso, Steiger, the Dragon with the flu, Stridi, Kiel, Ko Silva, Keuring, Diao, Mohamed, Vima Romero, and Jordan Norton as well. So first of the 3, it's the first leg, Real Madrid at home. And I'm very pessimistic. But you know what? I'm still mainly focused on the Bundesliga. Whatever happens, happens. Come on, Dortmund. Biggest thing for me, I would say, is just stay on form domestically, because we have done all year. Europe is, obviously where we've been inconsistent. We had losses to Manchester United and Newcastle, drew against Monaco in the league phase, although not in the knockout round, of course. But domestically, we haven't had really any problems in terms of consistency with form. Yes, we lost back-to-back to Bayern and Leipzig, but they're the only losses we've had all season long. So I'm not going to lie, I was tempted to throw out a few more backup players out tonight, because Real Madrid, a much stronger outfit, clearly, and in 3 minutes we've already fallen behind. The treble was a wild fantasy, but the domestic double is a realistic, attainable goal. Do you know what it's like? It's like the treble for us is like when you see a 10 out of 10 at the bar and you're like, one day I might get the chance. One day. But not right now. Not right now. I need to stick to the 7s and the 8s maximum. The 7 and the 8s are the double. That's what we stick to. That's what we're aiming for. That's the high grand prize, not the 10. That's just a fantasy. Free kick, Real Madrid. Heavy pressure by the favourites tonight As Mudryk floats one in back post, Jeremy Pino gets up, Flavio beats into the border, and then no one shuts down the rebound. Thankfully, fired just wide. Still 1-0, looking disjointed out. That's the best way of putting it so far. Looking disjointed, and we look already like we just know this is not really our level at the moment. It definitely can be, but I think when there's other fish frying, we're more worried about what's in our current pan as opposed to what we can put in it, if that makes sense. Kroza sends it long, and Dos Santos is going to run onto that. A chance here for us to level, to be fair, on the break, as Fernando steps inside and fires it just wide the post. If we're to have any chance of putting off a shock in these two legs, it all depends on Fernando, I think. Fernando and Moukoko, my two top players, absolutely balling out. Absolutely balling out. But there's definitely a lot more goals than just the one tonight. And I think Real Madrid could put 3 or 4 past if they really, really want to. Christian Mosquera, our former centre-half at Bournemouth, rolling it down the right-hand side. Ball into the middle. Jeremy Pino finds Camavinga on the edge and once again let off the hook. That second goal is coming. See how long we can hang on in there down by a goal as... Well, right on cue, we've surrendered our 2-goal lead. Surrendered our 1-goal deficit. Declan Rice gives Real Madrid a 2-goal lead. And that, I think, is a statement. Half an hour in and they lead by 2 here in Germany. You know how I said that Bayern previously have been like a step above us in the Bundesliga? Real are a step above us in Europe. The two teams I was most concerned about facing, Manchester City and Real Madrid. I felt if we come up against one of those two, I definitely would be going out. Real Madrid lead by 2, and it's going to need a miracle already to come back from here, because I still think they'd get a 3rd, 4th, maybe even 5th goal. Our team is good, but it's young, it's inexperienced at this level, and we just have not started off this game how we needed to. Mane's company, and a chance on the break here as Reina picks it up and slides through Fernando, and here he is, Dos Santos, drills it, absolutely drills it, and right before the break, well I said it, any chance of us having a chance tonight and over 2 legs depends on 2 of my boys and my top 2, Yusufa and Fernando. Reina slides through Jorge, and Dos Santos absolutely levels it into the bottom corner. 2-1 and back in the tie and back in the game on the night. Well, you know what? It's not been as one-sided as it possibly could have been. And as we still trail by a goal, I genuinely would not take this as a result to head back to the Bernabeu. We'd still have a chance in the second leg. But if we find ourselves an equaliser, you just never know. As Flavio finds Fernando, there's Fresneda arriving! Dortmund battle back from 2 goals. And what a shocker. It's our number 9 star Portuguese winger who's turned this game around. First with the goal and now with the assist. Rolls it to Ivan, ghosting in. No one sticks with him. And drills it past the French shot stopper Chevalier. Dortmund from 2-0 down have level there. Patterson down the left, dinks it over the top. Mudryk's going to get on the end of that mark up in the middle as Ukrainian finds Endrick and it's squeezed home by the Brazilian, and our comeback ends after 10 minutes. The ex-Chelsea man down the left-hand side rolls it into the middle, and Endrick, who could have gone to Bayern and broke our hearts in the Bundesliga, has done it in Europe instead. Dennis shouldn't be getting beaten in the near post, let's be honest. But it's 3-2 Real, and they've managed to just escape after choking a 2-goal lead away. Well, positives, absolutely. Whilst our unbeaten run is going to be ended after 11 games, definitely some positives. Now we'll head to the Bernabeu. If it stays this way, we're not out of the tie, but if Real do get a 4th, that might do it. I think he was onside there. I think that's going to stand. 4-2 Real. And what a shame, man. Battling back from 2 goals. And in 8 minutes, we've basically thrown the tie away. There's no way we'll overcome a 2-goal deficit at the Bernabeu. Lovely slip ball through by Mudryk for his 3rd assist of the night. Really running the show of the creativity. And a slip finish to the bottom corner. Ends the game and maybe ends the tie. Blimey, Moukoko dispossessed. He's had a shocker out there tonight. Not much of a surprise though, considering the importance of this game, as Endrick almost definitely ended the tie. Had he scored there, that would have been it. That would have been 5-2. That's tie over. But instead, boys are tired, to be fair. Boys have played so much football. We can't get a break at the moment. Every single midweek we've got a game. And tonight, Real Madrid's class has just shone through. Yes, we battled back from 2 goals down, but Manchester City know this. Everyone knows this. You can never rule out Real Madrid in the Champions League. I'm not even going to make a sub. That's going to do it. Proud of the effort, to be fair, being big underdogs tonight, but they're 17-time champions for a reason. They're going for their 4th in 6 seasons. They are just too good. And Fernando's going to be out of the following leg at the Burnabout. I might have just thrown my backup side out there for that one, honestly. There's no way we're going to overturn a 2-goal deficit away at the Santiago Bernabeu. Yeah, 17-time champions now if you count the 3 and the save as well. And sorry, I got it wrong. It's because they didn't win it last year, so it'd actually be 4 in 5 they were to go on and win it this year. So yeah, I can't see us overturning that. Freiburg away in 2 nights' time. I think just wave the white flag, let Real Madrid make it through, and then focus all of our attention on our remaining Bundesliga games and, of course, the Cup semi-final as well. Don't lose a double or possibly even any trophies by chasing a miraculous comeback in the second leg. We just got ourselves a youth intake, and here we go. Our top youth players here are Amir Uwadani. Nice determination with a resolute personality as well. Very good heading stat, but only 11 jumping. I always feel like if you've got a good heading stat, you need to have either a decent amount of height and jumping reach and strength as well, and a bit of bravery too. Otherwise, it's basically completely worth. It's like an empty stat, you know. But you could be right. Dominic Dommer, double D. Double D, impressive balance if you're a double D, but yeah, double D, and again, it's such an empty stat, isn't it? 16 heading, but 5 and 7 with 8 jumping, which is such an empty stat, isn't it? But double D, Durmus, young Turkish centre mid, good first touch in passing, to be fair, very brave, and who was the other lad I just saw? Yeah, Michael Freiss, 16 determination, centre half, but only 5'11". Though of course could get a little bit taller, only 16 years old, but nothing to write home about as per usual. So moving on, second of the 3, but back to the more important game in my opinion, because we know we are just 7 wins away from the Bundesliga title with 8 games to go. Freiburg away, tough one here as they're battling for a European place in the final stages. So not an easy game, no doubt about it, but a chance for us to set the tone here. A win will send us 10 points clear ahead of Leipzig and Bayern's games and hands coming tomorrow afternoon and evening. So big clash here. Can we bounce back after losing our unbeaten run? So heading into the game, fitness, conditioning problems, no doubt about it, with the second leg against Real Madrid at Bernabeu next Wednesday, with Leipzig coming on the weekend. I'm throwing in the towel for that second leg. I can't see us overcoming that 2-goal deficit away in Madrid, especially with Leipzig in what could be a potential title decider on the weekend. So soldier on, boys, soldier on. You get your rest in the week. Dennis is in goal, about for Estridi, the Dragon, Creswell and Fresneda, with Kroos and Mane at DMGO. Dos Santos on the left, he's suspended for that Real Madrid game anyway. Romero on the right, and the kid, land shooter back in supporting Muka. On the bench, you got Alfonso, Bennett, Silva, Watjen, Curing, Wimmer, Reina, Company, and Norton as well. Second of 3, it's Freiburg away, and despite back-to-back games against Real Madrid in Champions League, I think this game is even more important than those two. Come on, Borussia Dortmund. So first highlight falling inside the first 5 minutes, looking for a better start than we had in the week against Real Madrid, and we might get it here. Land shooter, the kid, fizzes one across the 6-yard area, going for that bottom corner, but instead flashes it just wide. Lovely ball over the top by Striddy, but the kid just could not convert. Well, he scored his first goals for the club this season. He scored quite a few of them, to be fair, and he's really thriving this year, playing just behind Mukoko. He's got Gio Reyna on the bench right now because he's just been that good this year. But unfortunately, couldn't finish that chance there. Still 0-0. Freiburg making a brighter start to the game, it appears. But we've had the only proper good chance so far. 30 minutes in, still 0-0. As the Dragon finds Kroos. Now Dos Santos plays through Mukoko, who fires well wide at the post. The amount of one-on-ones you see from this. And I know he scored 40 goals this season. I know. But again, he could have more. There's no doubt about it. Still 0-0, and we've had the chances. Well, 2 good ones. We just missed them both. Can we finally hit the target? As the finishing's been the problem tonight, not the creativity. Fernando gets it on the deck and rolls through Cruiser, and Loreen must finish, and does, for his second of the year, and another assist for Fernando. That, I think, is his 18th assist in the Bundesliga. He's already set the save record, and now he's eyeing that all-time record, which of course Thomas Müller has with 21, even though it doesn't show up in the save record books as the only starter from when the save begins. But even so, Fernando with the offload, Kroos with a finish, 1-0 Dortmund. And I love that as well. Absolutely love that. Yeah, sure, we're not dominating that game out there, not even close to it, but a little bit more of the ball. and just waiting for that opening. When we get it, we play it through, and there's our lead by a goal to nil. Moukoko, once again, is really letting me down out there, though. Like, seriously, big missed on a one-on-one. He just doesn't seem to do it when he's away from the Signal Iduna Park or when he's playing a big game, man. Stat padder. He's getting that. I'm gonna constantly mock Moukoko and calling him a stat padder until he performs, you know. Tough love as Mane finds Fresneda down the right-hand side. And as Ivan crosses, headed away from Moukoko, they're going to shut me up instantly, and Freiburg shall clear. It seems like most of our away days are 1-0 or 2-1 wins or 3-2 wins, like scraping through by a goal. I don't think tonight will be any exception, as Romero looks to rob his man, and Freiburg got to be careful here. Very close to interception. There it is. Romero, Moukoko must finish, and does. Shush to his lips as he turns to me on the dugout and says, "Gaffer, stat padder, shut your mouth, mate, and let me do my business on the pitch." I knew that Freiburg were going to lose that there, trying to pass out for in the back. Very hard to do against a high-line, high-gegenpress team that are as disciplined and aggressive as we are. The Romero wins it back. Moukoko's not going to miss that one. 2-0 Dortmund, and there's our double lead. You know, one thing I did not realise is that we're going to have a couple of suspended players for that game against Leipzig now. Fresneda and Creswell have both picked up bookings, and that means they'll be out for the Leipzig game. That's going to be a huge blow. Fresneda's been amazing for me this year, and of course to miss the captain for one of the biggest, if not the biggest game of the season thus far, is going to be a massive blow in itself as well. So I might as well play them both on Wednesday night at the Bernabeu. Had the captain's influence out there and the Spaniard who scored in the first leg, but to miss them both for that Leipzig clash, that's a massive blow. Kroos 40 yards from goal. A lovely ball to Strilli. Moukoko slot time. I think he was offside. I don't think it will count. It was a wonderful ball by Kroos to thread the needle and find Stefano. Nice little ball into the middle by the left back. Was Moukoko a yard offside when the ball was played in? Will it will go to VAR? I'm not too sure. 50-50 that one. And no, it is indeed disallowed. Stoppage time. Wimmer, free kick, floated into the middle. With this game basically done. Freiburg trying to ruin our clean sheet late on here, which might be able to do with our former right back who I sold in season 1. I still remember him, Podolak, into the middle, and that shot from range. Oh, Dennis, fuck me. How do you only parry that out and back into open play as well? You know, for as well class as his stats are, I'll be totally honest here, he's not been that good for me in his debut year. Maybe, offside, the VAR saves him there. Maybe it's a learning curve for him being back in his home country and moving on from Lazio. But yeah, it was well offside, to be fair. Maybe he knew that. Maybe Dennis actually knew that. Palmed it to him knowing he was clearly offside just to mock him. Anyway, 2-0, that'll do it. Not a dominant victory, but a victory nonetheless. And we now go 10 clear at the top of the table with 7 games to go. Obviously, both Bayern and Leipzig still have a game in hand, but laying down the gauntlet on Friday night. We're in pole position and it's ours to lose. Yeah, it's not come through on the news article yet, but you can see it here. The Leipzig game will miss both Creswell and Fresneda. 2 of my back 4, including my captain, being out for that clash is absolutely massive. What a bonus that is for RB Leipzig. What a big blow that is for Borussia Dortmund. So, okay then, Saturday afternoon, and again, Leipzig 3 p.m. kickoff, Bayern at 6:30. So, heading into these games, they'll have to match our result, I would say, to really know that they're still in this race. I genuinely feel so confident if they both lose today, which is unlikely to be fair, then it's our championship with 7 games to go, being 10 points clear, even though we've still got to face them both in the remaining run-in. There's no way we'll slip up more than 4 times in 7 games, surely not. So, yep, heading into the 3 p.m. games then. Leipzig playing first. Should be a banker, being at home. And let's have a look if they did get the win. I'm pretty confident they did, as we'll process through the evening games as well. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Well, Leipzig won, but Bayern lost. Oh, Bayern. Bayern's dominance has surely come to an end. Surely. Eintracht Frankfurt with a last-second winner. And whilst Leipzig dominated their game at home to Augsburg, surely that ends Bayern Munich's run of 20 championships in a row. 10 points behind. They're still behind Leipzig in second. Surely now, whilst Leipzig can still catch us, I can't believe I'm saying this, with 7 games to go, I'm not too worried about Bayern anymore. You know you can't rule them out, but it's going to take a miracle for them to win the title from here. Just before I move into the third and final game, by the way, Bournemouth are playing against Bayer Leverkusen tonight, and they've just made it through. Oh, mate, do you know what? Like, obviously, I'm so pleased they're doing this, but it's a bit bittersweet knowing it possibly could have been me. But I'm so happy to know that like Unai Emery has gone in there and done such great work. Because if you're like me, you know that when like if you're a manager and you leave your club, the AI manager tends to ruin your club pretty quickly, or your old club, I should say. Unai Emery has done a fantastic job. I mean, to be fair, I left him an amazing squad, an amazing young squad as well. But even with all the departures they've done over the past 3 seasons since I've gone, look at that, 416 million in the season I left, including over 100 mil to us, to be fair. He's done brilliantly, recruiting, bringing new young talent in, and guiding them to new heights. Champions League quarter-final, and aiming to get back there as well. I'm pleased, man. I'm really pleased. And so, as we head into the third and final game of today's episode, we're throwing in the towel for the second leg against Real Madrid, knowing we're 2-0 down. There's absolutely no way we're going to overcome this. So, yeah, the backup boys are getting a run out tonight. A great chance as well for them to have the experience at the famous Bernabeu. But absolutely no way we can overcome this deficit. So with that being the case, and Leipzig on the weekend, it's time to throw out the kids. So heading into the game, we do have a few starters out there, to be fair, including Dennis between the sticks. The back four is Luis Flavio, Van Loo, the youngster we picked up that's been regarded as the new Matthias de Ligt. Got a long way to go. But he started a new camp and did well, to be fair. So he starts alongside Captain Creswell and Fresneda, who are both out for the Leipzig game due to suspension. Watjen and Silva are at DM duo, with Wimmer on the left, Company on the right, and Reina supporting Jordan Norton up top. So there are a few starters out there, to be fair. It's not a completely weakened side, but it will still take a miracle for us to go through tonight. On the bench, you've got Alfonso Steiger, the Dragon, Striddy, Curing, Papaz, Wagnerman, Diego, Mohamed, Koch, Romero, and Mukoko as well. So to be fair, a few starters on the bench as well, just in case there's a chance we might be able to pull off a comeback and I need some reinforcements. So third and final game, I can't see us going through it, but that's totally fine with me. Come on, Borussia Dortmund. I mean, you just got to look at their side and think, even though they're missing Camavinga through injury, I mean, it's just a remarkable team. 3 of the last 4 Champions Leagues were won by them. They've been dominating La Liga since this save began as well. I think Barcelona have only won it once or maybe twice in the save thus far. So, yeah, you've got to be realistic, man. It's Fresneda, to be fair, had a pretty ferocious effort from range there, but Chevalier makes the save. Whatever happens tonight, but I think this could be a long old evening for Dennis between the sticks. Great save there, though, to be fair, as it's still 0-0. Well, our B team, away at the Bernabeu, has done a better job than our first team at the Signal Iduna Park. We're deadlocked at 0-0 at the break, and to be fair, Real haven't been in at all here. So, yeah, I mean, I know it sounds crazy. I'd probably take a draw because it means that it won't batter the morale heading into that Leipzig game. You know, we're doing all right out there. So I'm saying you've defended really well, guys. Like, what do you mean switch off, Ivan? You've kept Real Madrid at 0-0 when you've got a fucking 17-year-old in your back four alongside you, mate. What are you talking about switching off? That should be high praise indeed, mate. But even so, still tied at 0-0. If we nick a goal, you just never know. But so far, not forthcoming. Corner, Borussia Dortmund whipped in and claimed. You know, I am tempted to bring on Mukoko and Romero for a bit of firepower up top, but the worry that I have is that they'll get injured and we'll still lose anyway. It's like, well, what was the point in that then? Do you know what I mean? What was the point in that? So if we're going to go out, just make sure that no one gets injured for the game on Saturday. But if Real do get a goal here, which I expect them to do at some point in the second half, that will all but do it. Declan Rice leaves Co Silva on the floor. What a lovely bit of skill by the former West Ham man, and Dennis claims the shot pretty comfortably. Still 0-0. Still 0-0. To be fair, our defence tonight has stood quite strong. Kiel over the top. Flavio controls and takes it over the halfway line. That's a good burst of pace by Luis there down the left-hand side. And that deep cross is an awkward one. And Anthony Company has headed home at the far post. The Spaniard, ex-Barca Academy graduate, has given Dortmund's B team the lead at the Bernabeu. This is shades of what happened in the league phase against Barcelona. We've gone away to Spain with a backup team and lead. Flavio's cross headed home. And now what do I do? Because it's our B team that have got us in front. So do I call for the reinforcements or do I just trust the backup brigade? 18 minutes to go. And I'm going to say to the boys here, be more expressive. Be more expressive. Express yourselves, boys. Because to be fair, you've surpassed all expectations out there tonight. As I switch to attack, and I might as well say, do you know what, guys? Let's bring on Mukoko as long as this corner doesn't go in. And you just never know. Maybe he gets one chance and he takes it, and we end up forcing extra times. Nyanzu hits the bar. Let's do it. Yusufa's stripped off. He's ready to go, and he says, this is the time for me to shine. Jordan comes off. Should I bring on Romero as well? No, I'm going to trust the backup brigade. The backup brigade have done quite well out there tonight. In fact, Villa's played poorly, so I will bring on Romero, and I'll switch he and Company around as Company's either-footed. 10 minutes to go. I've called on my two best starters from the bench. Can they find us a leveller? 4 minutes of stoppage time, and there are some nervous faces in the Bernabeu, but none more nervous than in the dugout with Carlo Ancelotti, Mukoko, Company, Giovanni Reina. Oh, what a chance! Flag stayed down, and the American could not finish. Dennis is coming up for the corner as Gio will take it. Company loses the aerial duel though, and it's cleared. And that, I think, is going to see Real Madrid escape with the win. Over 2 legs despite the loss on the night. I tell you what. Give the boys some credit, man. Give the boys some credit. Back up side out there. And we almost forced extra time from a 2-0 deficit. Lads. With my hands together. We were the underdogs out there and you gave your best. Good effort. Good effort. That was so unlucky. And Reina could have sent it into extra time. I'm not gutted. I'm not disappointed. I'm proud. We were really unlucky out there tonight. But that will do it for today's episode, guys. So big thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. If you had them, please drop a like. Our treble dreams have ended. But in a weird way, I'm kind of pleased with the way we went out, if that makes sense. A real good fight in the second leg. We just couldn't overcome the deficit. But the treble dreams end, but the double dreams remain alive. And in the next episode, we'll come back with... I can't miss any Bundesliga games anymore, can I? With 7 games to go, knowing we win 5 of them, we are champions. So we'll come out with a triple header, Leipzig and Bayern, the top 2 below us, and then Eintracht Frankfurt, tricky tie away from home as well. The title could be decided in the next episode, or we could let Leipzig and Bayern right back into it. Pressure. Let's see if we can handle it. Thanks for watching, guys. Much love to you all, and I'll see you for the next episode of the Football Manager Save. Probably, I've got to be honest, probably the biggest episode of the save so far, especially for my tenure here at Dortmund, very soon.